You gonna hit my brother? Cause your gave you a side eye?
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
There are consequences.
Yeah.
There are big consequences.
There has to be.
Well, yeah, because nobody is okay with what happened. Nobody.
Probably.
And he acted on impulse.
Sure.
And I think it's a foolish impulse that you do when you know there's no consequences.
As you will see, after Chris Rock tells this joke, they cut to Will Smith, he's laughing, and then he looks over at Jada Pinkett, and she's mad. And then the unthinkable occurs.
We've all done questionable things in moments of anger, but we're pretty sure that you have never slapped someone on live TV. In case you've been living under a rock, you'd have missed the Will Smith and Chris Rock fiasco. Chris, on stage, had made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, who had shaved her head due to having alopecia, leading to Smith storming on stage and slapping the comedian. Was this joke controversial? Yes. Did it warrant such a physical display of violence? Well, that's up for debate. Some expected the Academy to ask Will to respectfully leave the premises and give his award to him separately. Did they do that? Nope. So basically, an hour later, he won Best Actor. Adding insult to injury, he got a standing ovation. It really confused some people how a man who had just assaulted someone could get standing applause. While some celebrities sided with Will, many were shocked by this behavior. These include prominent Hollywood stars like Jim Carrey and Tony Rock. Let's look into these celebs' opinions. Tony Rock had a lot to say about what happened at the Oscars.
You gonna hit my brother? Cause your gave you a side eye?
The actor, writer, and stand-up comedian was upset at Will striking his brother on stage. In a show on Friday in North Carolina, he warned Will by saying, "There are many Rock brothers." He said that Will can't just walk up on the stage and hit his brother like it's no big deal. Tony did not accept Will's apology. In a Twitter conversation, someone asked him if he approved of Smith's apology. Tony just replied with a solid no. In another Twitter thread, someone asked Tony who he thought could hit harder, Will or Jada's boyfriend. Tony replied saying, "Mama Rock." Not only is Chris's family supporting him, but Hollywood elite Jim Carrey also had something to say as well.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless.
Jim Carrey, the legendary comedian, has also spoken about the whole situation in an interview. He was upset at the fact that Smith was given appreciation for attacking Chris. He was quoted saying that he felt sick to his stomach when he saw this act take place. He continued by saying that Hollywood comprises of a bunch of spineless people that cannot take a stand on something wrong. If you think about it, he's not wrong. No one has the right to slap anyone else, especially in such a public setting. There were far better ways to solve this, the easiest being talking about the issue in person. We understand that making fun of a sick family member can hit a nerve, even if the intent wasn't malicious. According to Carey, using Twitter was a far smarter option than a smack on the face. In discussion with the Associated Press, Carey said that the main issue wasn't just the attack, but the fact that Will so conveniently broke all physical boundaries. These boundaries are meant to protect us, but now that people have seen Will do this, they are more likely to follow suit. Just because you don't like what someone said doesn't mean you have a free pass to attack them. Whoopi Goldberg is actually on the board for the Academy. The Academy had been silent for the better part of the issue, but Goldberg made a statement stating that what happened was not okay.
There are consequences.
Yeah.
There are big consequences.
There has to be.
Well, yeah, because nobody is okay with what happened. Nobody.
In an interview with The View, she said that Smith would be punished for his actions. When she was asked why he was still given the award, she just said that the Academy did not see a reason why he shouldn't be awarded for his superb acting in his movie. Goldberg clarified that people did not flock to Will after the slap to support him, but to make sure that he wasn't having a breakdown and to ensure that he did not harm anyone else in attendance. Goldberg said that we should rest assured there will be significant consequences. Many believe that this may be the reason why Will issued an apology to the Academy, stating that his actions were out of line and not an accurate repetition of who he is as a person. Is this apology sincere? You decide. Roger Ross Williams, a black member of the Academy's Board of Governors, informed Scott Feinberg of The Hollywood Reporter that he was in tears. He said that it really hurt him to his core because the whole ordeal feeds into black people's aggressive stereotype. Twitter has been blowing up with support for Chris, and one such tweet comes from JUDD APATOW. In a now-deleted tweet, APATOW, a comedian, said that Will could have murdered Chris. There was uncontrollable fury and wrath on Will's face as he came to slap Chris. He said that Will had gone insane. Such a joke should not warrant this type of behavior, especially when you think about the fact that these are actors that have been in the industry for years. They've had countless jokes made at their expense. In another tweet, he said that Will was basically setting up a strategy to make sure that no comedian ever made a joke about him. If they did, he'd walk right onto the stage and slap the living daylights out of them, and then get a standing ovation afterwards too. Jokes are meant to be taken at face value. We think maybe Will didn't get the memo. Speaking of comedians, Amy Schumer had something to say about the whole ordeal. She was one of the co-hosts and actually had front row tickets to this disaster. Amy said that she was still disturbed by what had taken place on stage and was waiting for the feeling of dread to settle. She felt that Chris had been poorly treated and deserved an apology. Comedian Kathy Griffin warned that Smith's actions could put other comedians in danger. She said that physically assaulting a comedian on stage is a bizarre thing to do, something Smith should have known. She raised a valid point, stating that now comedians all have to be concerned about who the next Will Smith will be in comedy clubs and theaters. Kathy wasn't the only one who thought that Will took the joke too seriously. Mia Farrow and Kathy Griffin had similar thoughts about this situation. Famous actress Mia Farrow said that the incident was Oscar's worst moment. She said it was only meant as a joke. She continued by saying that Chris is known for his edgy jokes, and this, as a matter of fact, was a milder one. Famous director Rob Reiner had something very interesting to say about this situation. He said that there was no excuse for what Smith had done, and using the "I was defending my family" to justify his actions was not okay. You can't use your family as a scapegoat for your terrible actions. Think about it. Chris could easily file an assault charge against Smith, and he can't even deny it because thousands of people saw it live. We're not kidding when we say that the police could get involved. According to Will Packer on his Good Morning America, the LAPD were ready to arrest Smith if Chris wanted to.
Sounds like Chris Rock had the ability, the option, to have the LAPD go arrest and remove Will Smith from that theater that night.
That's an absolute fact. The LAPD made it clear, we will do whatever you want us to do, and one of the options is that we will go and arrest him right now.
The police actually laid down several options for Chris. If he were to press charges, Will could be booked for battery. Do you know what Chris said to them? He said no. The amount of patience Chris has shown during all of this is externally commendable, something Will should learn too. Will's whole brand has been built around being family friendly. He has consistently campaigned for love. Don't you think after slapping Chris, his words now ring hollow? Journalist Maria Shriver had something very interesting to say about this. She took to Twitter and said that Will claims to be a vessel of love, but love isn't violent. His words are hypocritical at best and manipulative at worst. Actress and director Sophia Bush had similar thoughts as Maria. She said that violence is never the answer. We can't attack someone just because we disagree with them. While Sophia did say that Chris should not have made the joke, she was quick to condemn Will, and what he did was totally out of line. The Real Housewife of New York City, Bethany Frankel, had something similar to say as well. In her podcast, Just Be, she made a very valid point, stating that when someone presents for the Academy, they represent the institution. So if you hit a presenter, the Academy has to have them removed. She said that the whole situation was terrible in itself, but giving him an award on the same stage he had hit someone was extremely awkward. Recently, the Academy has come out with a statement saying that they had asked Will to leave, but he refused. Both men have made questionable decisions at the Oscars, but what's important is that we learn from this and move forward. Smith has made a public apology on his Instagram, but will Chris accept it? Your guess is as good as ours. This was just the beginning. Click here for the next story.